Welcome back, fellow podcast listeners. I want to thank everyone for listening to episode 100. Up to 20 downloads for a very small amount of time from Saturday night to Monday night. You guys are amazing. I see you. I hear you. So, I just would like to welcome everyone back to the Heels of Stars Season 1 rewatch, where I will watch this show, break it down, tell you the ins and outs, wrestling lingo, and possibly shout out the Easter egg and pro wrestling references sprinkled on every episode. So, without further ado...
Hey, yo, you can't do this podcast without me.
No.
I had to come back and show everybody who runs this show. So, Ernie, you're going to have to step aside for a little bit and let me say what I have to say.
I guess this means we're changing stuff?
Absolutely. Means we're going back to the good old days. The golden era of wrestling, if you will, podcast.
Boy. What is that? What is the good old days? Are we going back to the Vince Russo era? Is that what you're trying to say?
We're going back to my era.
Oh, your era. Okay. Welcome back. What's up, dude?
Oh.
How you been? What's going on? What's new?
I'd be better if I heard more sincerity in your voice, but it's good to be back. Thanks.
Oh, all right, cool. Hey, what's up? How's everything going? Where were you? Where you been? How you been? What's up?
All right.
Tell everybody what you've been doing lately.
Drowning in law school exams, but I'm done with those for a while, so I thought I'd grace you with my presence once again.
Sweet, our fucking sweet-ass lawyer is here, everybody. So before we begin, follow us on our socials and support us. Rub Under the Apron on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. Apron_stories on the Twitter. More info on the links on where you can listen or watch in the show notes. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or any other audio media you can listen to podcasts on. Make sure to rate us and leave us a review. And if you feel you want to do a little more, support us on the Patreon. Become a top-tier patron, and I will shout you out at the end of every episode. Go to patreon.com/From the Apron Podcast for more information on that. The link will be in the show notes.
And all you future felons out there, you'll also get half off on your first felony.
Oh, sweet. Christmas. Welcome, everyone, to another awesome episode of From Under the Apron, where the podcast where the co-host is also a lawyer.
In training.
Yeah, a lawyer in training, everybody. I'm excited for this episode, and mostly because you messaged me saying you're able to come back, and then you told me you were at Raw. So we're going to look back at Monday's episode, do some predictions on this weekend's Night of Champions. But before I can even do that, let's do it for old time's sake, buddy. What are you drinking?
I'm taking it easy tonight. I'm having some Canada Dry Zero Sugar so I can get to sleep.
Canada Dry Zero Sugar. Look at that. Me, on the other hand, I've never changed. I'm not a creature of habit, so I will continue with this lovely, luscious, big can of Zoa, and it's going right inside my newly discovered, newly playful, Big Daddy juice toy. Juice boot? Yeah, Big Daddy juice boot.
It's a new one. I've never heard you say that one.
For those that missed episode 100, y'all heard me talk about going to Texas and going through Amarillo and getting that juice boot, the boot juice. So I figured bring it home, put in some Zoa in there, and just dub it the Big Daddy Juice Boot. It's too sweet. It's pure, big, sexy. Yeah, there you go. The Big Texan Steak Ranch, home of the 72-ounce steak on Amarillo, Texas. That's where I got it from. And that's where I'm putting the Zoa drinks in the big, sexy Big Daddy Juice Boot. Courtesy of Kevin Nash. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Monday Night Raw started off with a bang. Not a banger, but a bang, I guess. Cody Rhodes was seen walking backstage when he was assaulted by Brock Lesnar, throwing him into the garage door, supposedly injuring his arm with a metal keg. All right, so this is your show. You were basically there.
Yep. And Hershey.
Well, Hershey, huh? With the Hershey, Pennsylvania. Oh, how did that one go?
It was. I have to tell you, it's different. It's different than maybe because I hadn't followed in a while, but I don't know. I feel like the characters, it's not the same, even as a few years ago.
Even last year, Cody Rhodes just like walking in, and then this year getting injured again.
Yeah.
Show opens up with Paul Heyman starting the show off with him saying he had nothing to do with that ass beating. He is only at Raw because he was invited. Love the booing from the crowd.
I wasn't one of them.
You weren't one of them. You were all in.
No, I was cheering.
You were cheering. That's good. Paul Heyman continued to hype this Saturday night of Champion Premium Live Event show. Roman Reigns Solo Sikoa about to become new WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions against Kevin Owens and that rat bastard Sami Zayn. He introduces Raw and Kevin Owens' music hit, sending Heyman waddling out to retreat. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn both come out with all 4 belts. As they get in the ring, they show footage about what's been happening lately between the Bloodline and Owens and Zayn. Owens says Roman dedicated his victory over KO and Sami Zayn to the greatest tag team in history, the Wild Samoans. This reminds KO that they're going to dedicate their victory against Reigns and Solo to the pillars of the Bloodline, the Usos. They continue on to laugh and have jokes, but Imperium interrupts and has KO and SZ surrounded, sort of like how the Shield used to come out. Matt Riddle runs to the ring, slides, and stands with his bros, while Gunther, Vinci, and Ludwig Kaiser retreat and run back to the ring, back off away to the ring. But the 3 bros kicked him out. This means there will be a match between all 6 of them later that night. Can't wait. So I went through the entire show because I wasn't interested in watching any of it. But okay, sure, why not? Bronson Reed defeated Ricochet. What'd you think of it? How did that go for you?
I mean, that's about all I can say.
It kind of felt out over here too. I kept fast forwarding it. I wasn't interested. Backstage segment. Mommy Ripley and Dom Dom interrupt Apollo Crews, who was doing an interview already. Rhea takes the mic and says she's calling out Natalya at the very last minute. Very last minute. Apollo interrupts and says that this was his interview time. Rhea says the Judgment Day runs Raw and they do what they want. Dom Dom says, yeah, you better listen, mommy. Oh, goodness. This sets up Crews versus Dom Dom for later. I am disgusted by that.
That was another one. That was another
The show comes back from commercial, and they show old footage of both AJ Styles and Seth Rollins, who came up under the name Tyler Black in the Indies. And I want to say 15 years ago during the Ring of Honor days. I am so hyped for this match this weekend that I can't even come up with a prediction for that match just yet. We'll have to wait and see for later. Byron Saxton interviews Damien Priest and Finn Balor, who tells Byron que le tiene las ganas de tumbarle la cabeza y mandarlo a la chingada. Tiene ganas de tumbarle la cabeza. Finn tells Damien, tranquilo, tranquilo, eh. Finn already sounding like a homie. Yeah.
I thought it was kind of funny that he said they drink tequila instead of rum, but other than that.
Oh my goodness. Tequila. Finn tells Damien tequila, which means calm down. He calms him down, and later says they will handle Shinsuke Nakamura for tonight.
I thought, didn't he say after that they'd go backstage and drink some tequila?
Tequila? Is that what they said?
That's what I thought he said after that.
All right. They went backstage and drank some tequila. What kind of tequila?
Well, it had to be Terramana, I suppose.
Terramana. Do you drink Terramana?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, you do still? That's great. Good to hear. Match between Candice LeRae and the NXT upstart Zoe Stark. Shit. Okay, well, she should have been the NXT Women's Champion on NXT before she got here because it just feels like she's just blah. She's starting over. It didn't look right. It didn't damn, dude. You could at least had a resume going over there, and then shown up here and then be like, hey, no, you're starting over basically. Nikki Cross came out to cheer Candice, but got too excited. She grabbed her from entering the ring and hugged her. Again with that, Nikki Cross. Again, I mean, I liked her better as a superhero for some reason.
Yeah, she did a little better of that.
She was a little better back then. Now it's just I'm crazy and I'm gonna mess up her match and it's like I'm brand new. Zoe pushed both of them into the ring steps, throws Candice into the ring, and hits her version of the Go to Sleep knee to the face. Zoe Stark celebrates. I love her wrestling. I just can't see her as. She needs more. They just need to give her a better push.
Yeah.
Better than just Nikki Cross and stuff. Coming to Raw feels like they disrupted her momentum on NXT, as if to say, okay, now she has to start over and prove herself with this audience and these wrestlers instead of the NXT audience, who is all for her, even though she was a heel over there. Back from commercial break, and Mustafa Ali looks like he broke character from Positive Ali to just speaking from the heart. It's positively to just speaking from the heart and talking about nobody believing him. Brock Lesnar interrupts and walks in front of his interview, only to tell Ali, "Get a life, kid." Starting to love Cowboy Brock, really, for that moment alone. He has more style than Paul Heyman when he was just with Paul Heyman. Brock walks out to the ring, grabs the mic, and asks the crowd the most annoying opening line in a promo ever. My God, I hate it when he does that every single night. Grabs the mic, looks at everybody in the hand. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Really? I've told this to a friend of the show, Josh, Lust for Life. We've interviewed here already. Every time he sees me, he's like, so what do you want to talk about? And I'm just like, dude, shut up. No, we're not doing that. So every time I see him, it's yeah, it's like going to an interview and saying, so what do you want to know about me? Bro.
He's just being polite.
So what do you want to talk? So the way Brock says, so what do you want to talk about? He issued an open challenge to anyone at Night of Champions because he figured he's not going to wrestle Cody, who is already injured again. This one goes out for Twitter. Welcome to the Codyverse. Cody Rhodes comes out to try and attack Brock with one arm, but Brock wraps Cody's arm in a Kimura lock. Yeah, I'm not going to do any Vince McMahon imitations here. Cody Rhodes comes out to try and attack Brock with one arm, but Brock wraps Cody's arm in a Kimura lock, injuring him more than it already is. I love Kimura locks. You know why?
Why is that?
Because Daniel Puder put Kurt Angle in one.
Oh, God.
That one time.
They had to count him out.
Yeah. Good times. And then poor Daniel Puder gets fucked up for his seat.
Yeah, and then kicked to the curb.
We need to get episode about receipts.
That'd be a good one.
Those episodes would be awesome. Overly dramatic spell from Cody who gets help taken to the back. This feels just like last year when he injured his pectoral muscle. Remember that? Remember that big-ass bruise and we all thought it was fake? Faker than this?
Yeah.
This one's fake.
Yeah.
Because we're not believing this shit anymore.
Not anymore. Can't fool us twice.
Welcome to the Codyverse.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah, no, we're not doing this. Next match, Alpha Academy with Maxine Dupri versus the Viking Raiders with Valhalla. What'd you think of this match? Did you enjoy what's his face?
It was semi-interesting. I still can't get with Alpha Academy though. I feel like he reminds me of I forgot what the guy's name was. Was it Simon Dean?
Yeah,
the
Simon
fitness
Dean.
guy.
Fitness guy. Fine, Simon Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated that. And Nova from BWO, from the Blue World Order. And like I met him.
Okay.
I met him at a convention and he was addressed as Nova, Supernova. And I'm like, oh, dude, you are Simon Dean. And I'm just like, hey, is there a way I can get like one of those weight loss programs from you?
Yeah,
Nova.
one of those Prime Masters.
So Supernova's looking at me like, bro, like, did you hate that gimmick? It's like, yes. That's why I converted back to this one. Like, see, that's fucking great. I have pictures of me meeting them, so, but yeah. The Viking Raiders really jobbing out? Really? That doesn't. I thought we were
maybe
getting
they're
like
setting something up.
I thought we were getting like Vikings and Valhalla and why did Valhalla come back for it? Just to like get her husband jobbed out? It's ridiculous. I didn't like it. But yeah, like good for Ortiz and Alpha Academy, but you know, they didn't like that. They did that to the Viking Raiders. Next match, Finn Balor versus Nakamura. I forgot who won. Who won?
Finn won that
Balor?
one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which that was an interesting match. I don't really like Shinsuke, but his music live actually sounds pretty cool.
I bet. You were there. It's just like do 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 do.
I like the guitar.
The guitar is better.
I like the guitar playing in his music.
Yeah. Oh, friggin' wish they would have done that with Seth Rollins for you guys.
Yeah.
So they showed clips of Liv Morgan getting injured last week, thus having to vacate the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, which brings in Raquel Rodriguez and Sonya Deville. Interesting match. Didn't care for it, but they're saying next week they get to have a 4-way match next Monday instead of this weekend at Night of Champions. And they could have had new tag team champs at Night of Champions. But then again, I realized, oh, yeah, they're over there. Never mind. So after the match, Chelsea Green took a cheap shot at Raquel, and they both teamed up on her. Shotzi's music hits and comes out to help Raquel. Did she get a loud pop like we saw on TV, or just like...
Yeah, no, she did. She actually got a louder pop than I would have thought.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Didn't realize that. Now time what we came here for. Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch contract signing. This promo was everything. All the past references.
Which I thought was cool. I that was probably the highlight of the night for me. Was the contract signing.
The contract signing was highlight of the night. Let's see if I have it set up here.
Which it looks like Trish got her implants back in, but I don't think she'd do that for...
I don't think so either. It's more like she might have done like, let's put something on there instead.
Maybe she did some push-ups before she came out.
First of all, Becky Lynch comes out in shades and the style of hands covering her face. They look like a Geordie LaForge from Star Trek Visor. She did? It did?
Gold, right?
Yeah, it's gold. She signs the contract and calls out Trish Stratus to get her butt in the ring and take care of business. Trish's music hits and she comes out. Becky sits there, not even looking at Trish at all. Like the whole time, like this bitch. Not even gonna stare at her. Climbs in the ring and damn, Mama Trish, bro. Like, whoa, Mama Trish. Forget Rhea. She's mommy. Trish mommy. Trish is mommy. She looking better than before when she was full-time Trish.
Yeah.
Trish begins to talk as she does so. We hear the crowd do the what chants, which are still annoying. Why did you guys do the what chants? Who decided to do that?
That is Hershey. They still have to catch up with the times.
They still have to catch up with the times. So you did not say the what chant at all?
Oh, no.
You hated it? Okay, cool. Good to know. Becky Lynch still not looking at her. Trish says that the reason Becky has so many contract signing segments is because of her. She helped pave the way while Becky was doing Irish jigs at broken down restaurants. Also a shot of Becky when she first started at NXT and doing the Irish dance during her entrances. Okay, let's continue on with the promo.
I am number one. I am still number one, and I will always be number one. In fact, I was the minute I walked in the WWE, and it didn't take a broken nose for me to get there.
The broken nose feels like it was just a few years ago, but that was November 12th, 2018, on an episode of Raw. Becky Lynch was feuding with Ronda Rousey at the time. The whole bragging rights pay-per-view was happening. Good times. Ronda was part of the Raw crew. Becky was part of the SmackDown crew, both facing each other at Survivor Series. But before that could happen, Becky and the women of SmackDown invaded Raw, and in doing so, they came across a few of the women who were defending Raw. One of them was Nia Jax, who potatoed the hell out of Becky Lynch, thus breaking her nose, and unable to compete at the Survivor Series. This marked the first time ever that Becky Lynch dubbed herself as the Man.
You say you're it? Well, what happens when I beat you at Night of Champion? I guess that makes me it. And what will happen to you when that happens? Will you crawl back into a dark to go through your stuff again? See, Becky, I've got you figured out. I see your weak spots. Your biggest problem is you. You're your worst enemy. When you said you wanted to find a name and a face for the badness in your head, it had a name all along. It was staring back at you in the mirror. So, I'll sign this. You don't have to tell me what to do, guys. Thanks. I appreciate that. So I'll sign this. But isn't it kind of ironic, Corey? Check this out. It's ironic because this is my first contract signing. It also makes it your last contract signing.
Trish mentioned Becky going into her dark self again, referring to when she came back the first time around and dubbed herself Big Time Bex. Got that whole anxiety-ridden face of her worrying up every time she couldn't get the 3 count on her opponents. It is something that I said last year during our every time we saw her face, her opponents, that like I hated the way she looked. I hated the way she like did the whole her licking her lips and stuff. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I don't like that. So yeah, and I get it. Becky still doesn't stare at her.
You're scared, aren't you, Trish? I saw that little thing with you and Adam Pearce in the back. You're scared that don't worry, Trish, I'm not going to hurt you. I want you in the full of your health for Night of Champions. But you're scared of something bigger, aren't you? That's what all of this is about. You're scared that history is forgetting you. I mean, time, it's passing all of us by and everybody's getting better, but you just stayed the same. And what's more, and this is a problem for you, is that they remember you as being better than you are. But I'm even better than you think that I am. So you don't need to worry about why I was gone. You just need that I am back. But you want your flowers, you want your flowers, you want your flowers. That's what all of this is about. Okay, I think we're all past that, but okay, I'll say it to your face. Thank you, Trish. Thank you for being everything I hope I never become. Because you're vapid, I'm passion. You're trashy, I'm soul, heart, and fashion. You're cold, I'm hot. I'm it, you're not. And so you can stab people in the back. The difference is I will punch you in the face every single time. And that's why I can look at myself in the mirror, know that I'm not perfect like you think that you are, and I can carry on regardless. And that is why, even with the badness in my head, I've been able to have a career that you could only dream of. While you've done things that would give me nightmares. And if you think barking like a dog is embarrassing, just wait until I whoop your ass at Night of Champions. Welcome to the big time, bitch. Woof, woof.
On the March 5th, 2001 episode of WWF Raw is War, Trish was forced to bark like a dog on national television during the build-up to WrestleMania X7. Vince McMahon humiliated her even further by forcing her to strip. So there's that dog reference, and that's when I said, oh, shit. But the crowd here wasn't even like, they didn't even say like, oh my God, they were hyped about that. It's like, what? Come on, that was a big burn right there.
A lot of them probably either didn't remember or didn't know.
That
even around.
That is an old classic reference, and it was in 2001. It was like, yeah, they would have been kids. It's like 20 years ago. Oh, yeah. More than 20 years ago.
22.
Like the adults remember. There's like, oh, the entire generation that after that's like, what, why? We don't get it. Better not tell you. Those people that do remember it are grandfathers at this moment right now.
Ouch.
Sorry, but like we were the kids, they were the parents, they're now the grandparents. Okay. I apologize. Welcome to the third season of From Under the Apron, where we just don't care. Next match of the night, Dom defeated Apollo Crews. Okay, you know what? Everybody hated the fact that this dude defeated Apollo Crews.
It was a shock. I didn't think they would put him over. I guess they're really trying to build him up.
Against Apollo Crews? Really? It was like he just came back from a shitty ass storyline and then from a shitty ass NXT build up. Come on, you're gonna give him Dominic? I hated it.
Yeah, I think they're trying to really build him up.
Main event of the night: Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Riddle versus Imperium. Gunther, the Ring General, Kaiser Soze, or whatever the fuck his name, Ludwig Kaiser, and Da Vinci, or Vinci, whatever. They were better off with their old names. That match was freaking awesome, dude. Helluva Kick and pop-up powerbomb on Vinci for the win. What say you?
It was definitely between that and the Shinsuke match for the best ones of the night.
All right, cool. The show closes with Triple H checking on Cody, telling him he can't go out there. There's no way I'm going to let you go out there and fight Brock Lesnar. Cody tells him, Trip, we both know I'm going to go out there. Trip would have, and has done the same thing. So he goes down. He sits back down again and puts that stuff in his gym bag. Triple H sits back down like a proud father, pats Cody on his leg, and tells him good luck. You're going to need a kid. Show ends just like that. Welcome to the Codyverse. We're going to get unbelievable rise from the ashes, all that kind of shit that we got in AEW. And so, yeah. What you think of the show, man? What do you think of your Raw live moment?
I mean, overall, I don't know. It's not the same. And I was very disappointed because when I bought my tickets, I was planning on seeing Roman Reigns.
You know who else was planning on seeing Roman Reigns? Twice? Our friend Sarah, who comes on the show most of the time, she bought 2 tickets, one for Friday, one for Monday. Both of them, he didn't even show up.
I didn't think he'd wrestle, but I thought he'd at least just, go to build up for Saturday.
Right, yeah. At least show up and, all that. But no, he didn't. What are your top 3 favorite parts of the night?
The contract signing, the Shinsuke match, and Cody Rhodes getting his arm broken.
Cody Rhodes getting his arm broken. That felt so good.
Because I like Brock and I don't like Cody. So.
There it is. That's the reason.
Movies and feelings. Pop, pop. Bring Your Own Popcorn is a podcast that dives into people and the movies who love them. Let us preach to your choir or stoke your ire as we spiral down memory lane with cult classics, Jurassics, and other genres that rhyme with traffic. What we lack in education, we make up for with comedy, compassion, and camaraderie. I'm your host, Mixtape Majesty, inviting you to join me and an assortment of wonderful guests on fine podcast apps everywhere. Bring your own popcorn.
On March 6, 2023, WWE announced that the King of the Ring event would be revived and rebranded as King and Queen of the Ring to incorporate both the men's King of the Ring tournament and women's Queen's Crown tournament, which also replaced the previously annual Hell in a Cell event. The event was scheduled to be held on Saturday, May 27, 2023 at the Jeddah Superdome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and feature wrestlers from the Raw and SmackDown brand. On April 13th, however, it was revealed that WWE scrapped these plans for the event and tournaments that this Saudi Arabian event will instead be the 10th Night of Champions, thus reviving the Night of Champions event, which had previously been held annually from 2007 to 2015. According to Mike Johnson, a PW insider, the decision to change the event to Night of Champions was a creative choice to revive and bring the event to an international market. It was also reported that the change was to please business partners in Saudi Arabia and add intrigue to the show with the crowning of a new world champion. Not Universal Champion, a new world champion. Night of Champions, May 27, 2023. That's this Saturday at 1 p.m. Central, Pacific, who knows. Jeddah, Saudi Arabia at the Jeddah Superdome. Match that I'm looking forward to already, Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus. On night 1 of WrestleMania 39, Trish Stratus teamed with reigning WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Becky Lynch and Lita in a 6-woman tag team match in which they were victorious. Stratus then teamed with Lynch on the April 10th episode of Raw to defend the title on behalf of an injured Lita, who had been attacked by the unknown person backstage. They lost the match, and the title was Stratus taking the pin. Following the match, Stratus attacked Lynch, turning heel for the first time since 2005. I called it that whole weekend. I said, they're going to win this match at WrestleMania, but they're going to lose the belt. And it's going to be because Trish Stratus turned heel. Just didn't realize that Trish Stratus was going to take the pin or the fall. So here we are. The following week, Stratus revealed herself as the mystery person who attacked Lita, stating that she attacked Lynch and deliberately cost her the championship because Lynch believed that she was responsible for making the women's division relevant, with Stratus claiming that she was the one responsible. Stratus also stated Lynch never said thank you for her impact on the women's division, and she did not come back to a sidekick or a nostalgia act. After weeks of Stratus taunting Lynch, Lynch made a return on the May 8th episode attacking Stratus. The following week, Lynch challenged Stratus to a match at Night of Champions, which Trish Stratus accepted. All right, who are we going with here? The obvious choice, or let's pick Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe if she wins, Lita's going to come in and attack her, and Becky Lynch will get disqualified.
I mean, March, April, May, has Trish Stratus overstayed her welcome as a legend? It's like, all right, you've been here for 3 months, too long. It's time for you guys
to
go, get beat, and leave. Becky already defeated Lita. Might as well defeat Trish Stratus also, and just call it the Legend Killer, the man, the man. So I'm going with Becky.
Okay.
Becky it is. Rhea Ripley versus Natalya, the SmackDown Women's Championship, who is now on Raw. On the May episode of Raw, SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley defeated Dana Brooke in a non-title match. Afterwards, Ripley continued attacking Brooke, prompting Natalya to come to Brooke's aid. The following week, Natalya stated that Ripley attacking an already defeated woman was disrespectful, with Ripley responding that Natalya only wanted to be relevant again, also stating that if Natalya interrupted her again, she would end her career. On the next episode, Ripley stated she would end Natalya's career at Night of Champions. Thus, a match between the two of the SmackDown Women's Championship was confirmed for the event. Again, another person who has overstayed her welcome, Natalya. Like she feels like a filler, like every time. It's like, all right, we have nothing for anybody.
Bad.
Natalya, can you take this one again?
Yeah, I don't see her. I don't see them. I don't see it.
When was the last time Natalya was relevant and actually going for the championship and winning it, besides the whole fart jokes?
Yeah, no, I don't see it happening.
I don't see it either. If they didn't do it with Zelina Vega in Puerto Rico, why do it now with Natalya?
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley. The other match, Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. Night 2 of WrestleMania 39, Bianca defeated Asuka to retain the Raw Women's Championship. During the 2023 draft, both were drafted to SmackDown. On the May 12th episode of SmackDown during Belair's celebration on becoming the longest reigning WWE Women's Champion of the modern era, Asuka, in her first appearance since WrestleMania 39, interrupted and shook Belair's hand, only for Asuka to spin the green mist on Belair, officially turning heel. Ooh.
Tajiri would be proud.
Yeah, Tajiri or the Great Muta.
No.
May 18th, it was announced that Belair would defend the Raw Women's Championship against Asuka at Night of Champions. Is there anything else we can give? Yeah. But is there anything else we can give Belair to?
I don't think so.
All right, time for Belair to give the belts to Asuka for a bit,
I
guess.
Yeah, and then she can build her way back and
win it at WrestleMania again, 4-0.
Yeah.
But we're going with the longest reigning with the women's champion of the modern era. Let's go for it. Let's keep going. They're doing it with Roman Reigns, who will be at 1,000 days on that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23 more days for...
Maybe I wonder if they'll pull an Undertaker, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, boy. Belair or Asuka?
I'd like to see, who do I think will win? I think Belair will win.
Okay. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This thing was just short and sweet. Mustafa Ali won a battle royal. All right, cool, great. Are they serious? They couldn't bring up Sheamus. They couldn't do
Yeah, right.
or any of the Fight Night guys or anybody else that's like bigger than Gunther. You gotta give poor Mustafa Ali the chop to the chest, like he did something bad. That poor man, dude. Think positively, Ali. You'll be fine. Or wait, actually, it's in Saudi Arabia, so somebody might show up and help Mustafa Ali. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
In the main event, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa with Paul Heyman for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship. In the main event of Night 1 of WrestleMania 39, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defeated the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso to win the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship and retained them on a rematch on the April 28th episode of SmackDown. At Backlash, the Bloodline, the Usos and Solo Sikoa competed in a six-man tag team match in which Owens and Zayn were opponents. Sikoa won the match for the Bloodline, although there was friction between Sikoa and the Usos. There still is. On the following SmackDown, Bloodline leader Roman Reigns praised Sikoa. However, he expressed a disappointment in the Usos due to them losing their titles and the inability to regain them. The group's manager, Paul Heyman, then announced that he was able to procure another tag team championship match for the Bloodline. However, instead of the Usos, it would be Reigns and Sikoa challenging Owens and Zayn for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship at Night of Champions. This in turn marks Zayn's first Saudi Arabian event since the WWE Live Tour in April 2014, due to the relations between Saudi Arabia and Syria being restored after they had been suspended amidst the Syrian conflict that broke out in March 2011, which resulted in Zayn not working at any of the WWE Saudi Arabian events since. This additionally marked Owens' first WWE Saudi Arabian event since Greatest Royal Rumble in April 2018, as he had not worked any of the other events in support of his best friend, Zayn. That's ride or die right there. Owens and Zayn?
So this is what I think. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I think the Usos are going to turn face, and they're going to help Sami and Owens win the title, or keep the title.
There it is. And yeah, freaking Jay coming back as a face and full circle and facing Roman Reigns at the next pay-per-view, which will be SummerSlam, which will be 3 years from now when Roman Reigns first got it.
Wow.
So it'll come back full circle, and then if he does get it, if he does go through SummerSlam being in July, that would mean he would have broken Pedro Morales' record of 1,023 days as greatest top 5 WWE World Champion, longest reigning champion. So yeah, that's your analytics for the night. Finally, in the main event, no, not really. Other main event, Cody Rhodes with Brock Lesnar. At Backlash, Cody Rhodes defeated Brock Lesnar. On the following episode of Raw, Rhodes participated in the aforementioned tournament for the World Heavyweight Championship. During the first round triple threat match that Rhodes competed in, Lesnar interfered and attacked Rhodes, costing him an opportunity at the title. Lesnar subsequently challenged Rhodes to another match at Night of Champions, and Rhodes accepted with a broken freaking arm. Oh my God. Obviously, we've seen him with a pectoral muscle tear facing Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell last year at the same time, the same year. Funny how it's not in the same part of the body, but it's almost identical to it. So, like, he's doing the whole rise from the top, bottom to the top and stuff, just like his father used to do. So obviously we're gonna have a Cody Rhodes win here, but if Brock wins, it's like it'd be a surprise. But I'm going with Cody.
I think Cody Rhodes winning. I definitely think Cody Rhodes is winning, and I think they might even have him beat Brock with the Kimura.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much that right there. Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles, tournament final for the inaugural WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. On the April 24th episode of Raw, WWE's Chief Content Officer Triple H unveiled a brand new World Heavyweight Championship for the brand that did not draft undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns in the 2023 WWE Draft, and that the champion would be crowned a Night Champion. During the draft, Reigns was drafted to SmackDown, thus making the World Heavyweight Championship exclusively to Raw. To crown the new champion, the tournament was scheduled including wrestlers from both brands with a bracket for each brand, which is kind of fucked up because SmackDown people coming to Raw to go for a title shot that is not even theirs, like because this guy on SmackDown doesn't even show up or defend his belt. So, like, if AJ wins, he's going to Raw and leave his crew behind. The first round semifinals for each bracket were scheduled for the May 8th and May 12th episodes of Raw and SmackDown, respectively. The first round matches for each episode consisted of 2 triple threat matches with the respective winners advancing to the semifinals in a singles match the same night, with those respective winners advancing to the championship match at Night of Champions. The 12 tournament participants were revealed on May 7th on WWE's YouTube channel. Raw bracket was won by Seth Rollins, while SmackDown's bracket was won by AJ Styles, thus scheduling Rollins to face Styles in the tournament final for the World Heavyweight Championship at Night of Champions. What do you think of that belt, first of all?
I think it definitely it was made for where they're going. Big, gold, gaudy.
So we're going to showcase this belt because we're running over there.
Yeah.
And then, like, once they come back, it's like, oh, yeah, you have to live with this belt now.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that was inspired by one of their investors over there.
Oh, sweet. All right, so I still can't decide Seth Rollins or AJ Styles because this is going to be an amazing match.
It's tough because
Go ahead.
It's tough because they're both fan favorites, but I think Seth Rollins is riding a bigger wave these days.
Yeah. The whole
yeah. I think whoever loses, though, is turning heel.
Yeah, I'm thinking AJ. AJ has no problem turning heel. The club has no problem turning heel. I mean, who's top heel on SmackDown right now besides Roman? Who's top heel on Raw? Like, AJ could easily, like, all right, I want a rematch, and I'm going to do my heel moment right here against Seth, but I want a rematch later on. And SummerSlam, that's it right there, and which will give him a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship and go back to Raw. Who's the top heel on SmackDown besides Gunther? Yeah, nobody.
I think if AJ were to win, it'd be one of those, this was a big moment, yada, yada. He wants to go to shake Seth Rollins' hand, and that's when he turns heel. Rollins, if he loses.
Oh, it's Judgment Day. But they're not top. That's Mommy. Rhea Ripley's the only one that's top heel right there. Like, her Judgment people are like sidekicks. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Dominic is all like for funny stuff. Damien Priest and Finn Balor, I don't see him as,
no, they're not top guys.
yeah, I'm not gonna think of you guys seriously.
Actually, I think if Seth Rollins wins the belt, I think he still turns heel. I think it's going to end with either way. I think AJ Styles is going to try to make it. Like, man, we both had a great opportunity. I'm glad I shared it with you. And either way, I think Seth Rollins, if it's not overt, I think he's either gonna attack him afterwards, or he's gonna like just look at the hand and not shake, just walk away. I think that's what's gonna. He's either gonna go full heel, or he's going to gradually, and then he'll go on Monday and say the reason why I didn't shake his hand, and then he'll go heel.
That's a good excuse right there.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dawn.
And if you've ever watched a TV show and thought to yourself, oh my god, that season finale plot twist was absolutely bonkers.
Or seen a movie and thought, wow, I need to talk to somebody about this train wreck immediately.
Then we think you'll fit right in with our podcast, I Hate It, Let's Watch It. We watch TV shows like Riverdale and Emily in Paris.
And movies like Deep Water, Killer Sofa, Rubber, and Deadly Illusions. And we give them the total rinsing they deserve.
It's basically group therapy for movie masochists. So come check us out wherever you stream podcasts.
We're back. Hey man, what's up? You guys heard you have a lot to say.
Not a lot, just my take on how the difference between how wrestling used to be and how it is now.
Go for it. It's your call.
So
let everybody know how you feel, man. Let's go. Like, that's what we're here for.
I feel like I was a little disappointed in the live show this past Monday. When I used to go in the early 2000s, even the matches that back then we weren't necessarily hyped about, I feel like the characters and the storylines were over the top. Where I feel like now, like I was in the 8th row, and it was quiet. Like the wrestlers, they were talking, but it almost seemed like they were just moving their mouths but not actually talking. When they would yell at the audience and things like that. I feel like it doesn't have the same energy, and I think part of that is just because the characters are not as bigger. They're not bigger than life like they used to be. Like every character was bigger than life, even the mid-carders, the low-carders. I don't know. What do you think? Is it just me? Am I getting older? Am I aging out? Or
we are not adapting to what they're doing.
Okay.
We are used to like them not reading from a script. We are used to Stone Cold kicking ass, and not the what era. Prior to that, we're used to like The Rock saying his catchphrases, doing his catchphrases. Triple H going in there, doing what he has to love to do. DX. Speaking of which, I'm wearing my DX shirt, man.
Oh, nice.
Like, I should have said this at the top of the show, and I was just like, when you got in there, I just should have done the whole, sometimes we have to look to our Rock, we have to look to our Fraz, we have to look to our Click, we have to look to our Blood, here's X-Pac, whatever kind of thing. I was going to try to do that, but, I wasn't thinking about it. But, hey, got the DX shirt. Wanted to say suck it. I've been having this shirt all day because, like, you're going to be on the show. It's like, hell yeah, dude, suck it. Let's go. Let's do this. DX forever. And people still don't believe me that I've said suck it to the teachers. Even with Roderick being on the show.
Oh, wow.
It's like, yeah, I remember that shit. It was like, oh, yeah, I think you do. Oh, man, that episode was 2.5 hours long, and we loved it. Yeah, but back in the day, we loved enjoying doing the catchphrases, saying the catchphrases, being a part of the moment, being in that moment. We didn't have phones. We didn't have cameras. We had signs, and in those signs, they were freaking amazing. They were awesome. They were catchy, and, like, we wanted to be on TV just for those signs. We didn't want to be on the Twitter. We just wanted to be on the TV. It's like, look at my sign. And now it's just like, hey, look at what I said on Twitter. Come on.
But I feel like, and I don't know if it's, I felt like when the wrestlers were on there, I almost felt like I was in like an amateur match or a UFC fight. Like it was just, they just went out, wrestled, and left. It wasn't, like before it was all about the story with some wrestling in it. And now I feel like they're trying to make it more wrestling, and then once in a while they give you a reason why they're wrestling.
The cinematic matches that they had in 2020.
Yeah, it used to be a show. Even not bad, but even like the Blue Meanie matches and stuff like that, there was usually a reason why they went out there. But I feel like now even the main events feel like dark matches compared to Backstage.
Really? Do they really? Damn.
Well, I mean, yeah, to me they do. Like I was not brought in, I was not drawn in or captivated. I was just like, okay. You know, I felt like it was at a high school match or something.
Oh, and the independent wrestling match. So like felt like Ring of Honor back in the high school days and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And gymnasiums and all that. Yeah. It's like I've been to one. I know what you mean. It is, people are adapting, and it's like we're used to because we have Peacock, we're so used to everything. Like I sat back and watched SummerSlam 92 because we're gonna do that in a few days. We're gonna do, obviously, if you're gonna be around for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do SummerSlam 92. We're gonna talk about that match. We're gonna include the final match because that final match we're gonna have like a commentary, me and you, while we're watching that while that match happens. Like, all right, the same thing that I did for the Iron Man match between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. So we're going to do Bret Hart versus British Bulldog for the Intercontinental Championship. One-on-one? Is that what I called it? I forgot what I called it. But we're going to do that. We're going to do lots of other things, lots of other amazing things on here that we haven't done in a while. And you're going to be along for it, right? We got you. We got you for like the next summer, correct?
Yep, for the summer, yeah.
For the summer. Cool. So not only that, but you said yes to Heels.
Yeah, and I watched it today.
You watched the first episode?
Yeah.
All right. So what'd you think of it? We're here. Like, what'd you think of the first episode? Because we're gonna do the second episode in a few days. We're gonna talk about it. I gotta get in there. So
it was interesting. It was it's kind of soap opera. I mean, I had a lot of more of the outside of the ring stories about what you imagine people go through. But I liked I think it's Ace.
Ace, yeah.
But when I first saw him, I was like, oh, is that Test Copeland there? Like he was like a mix of Edge and Test.
Test, yes. It was like I wasn't thinking of Test. I was thinking more of Edge. Like he has that attitude because him and Edge were both on Vikings.
Okay.
So it felt more like it's like, oh shit. And the way they related, some people have said this, but the way they related Ace and Jack Spade was like Goldust and Cody Rhodes with Tom Spade. You'll soon see who Tom Spade is, and freaking trigger warning. I think by episode 3 or 4, there's a trigger warning. There should be a trigger warning, but they did say that he shot himself. So, like, trigger warning for episode 3 or 4, you'll see that moment. So they link in Tom Spade to Dusty Rhodes, how he used to run the business and all that stuff, but is an independent business. And then he has his two sons, one's a heel, one's a face, Goldust and Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
So it's like a business standpoint of both of them. And I'm just like, oh, shit, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And plus the fact that Cody Rhodes and, what's his face? Stephen Amell have worked together when he was Stardust, and Stephen Amell was wrestling for him, and then Yen in AEW when they did that first All Out pay-per-view. So yeah, pretty much Stephen Amell is taking a bunch of hints and ideas from Cody Rhodes, from the business and all that stuff. You'll soon see later on, like all these wrestlers that you recognize come in and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
But like I gave that first episode 10 Daddy Boot Juice out of 10. What do you give it? You don't have to say Daddy Boot. What was that?
It was interesting. I so far so good. I'd give it an 8. I mean, I think it was interesting. I'd like to see more wrestling.
Right, yeah.
And I guess, yeah. So
And I watched it in 2021, and like since then I forgot all about it. So it's like this is my second time rewatching it. So it's like, oh shit, I didn't realize this was happening. It's like I didn't see that there. So when I first saw the second episode, I was like, damn it, like sex scenes like right off the bat.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, you haven't seen that yet, but it's like it'll like all these lingos, all these wrestling related stories and comments are there. And the fact that Jack Spade said that to dude on the water tower about Ric Flair versus Sting, I went back and looked at the whole thing and was like, oh shit, that did really happen. But the way he said it was this way, and then the match was this way. So like I linked that shit on the show notes, and I got a lot of hits from that. I was like, yeah.
Oh wow.
Like yeah, this happened. So yeah. Pretty much, it's like I'll go back and like if they do reference anything, Easter eggs and stuff, wrestling related stuff, I'll go back and take a look at it. So yeah, like can't wait to talk with you about the show about SummerSlam. We also have somebody who we both know and heard from like last year that requested a few pay-per-view shows. Requested SummerSlam 91 or something like that. So like we'll have to go through that one too. But I want to start off with SummerSlam 92. Like we can go through SummerSlam 91 later on, but I want to start with 92.
Was 92 the one where British Bulldog's wife and all them were involved?
Yeah, Bret Hart versus British Bulldog. And like I watched it and I was like, oh my god, it's so corny. I was like, what?
Oh really?
Yeah. But I was like, I gotta rewatch it again. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it.
What else can we do? We can do.
I'll have to think of some things.
I also got hits from people saying like greatest Intercontinental Champion.
Okay.
So we're gonna go with those as well. Your top 10 and my top 10. We should do a top 20, or we can do the top 10, your 5 and my 5.
Yeah.
You know what? No. Let's do top 10 each. Like if we have the same number of people there, like hey, we'll coincide with these. Like all right.
Okay.
Like we'll do that. And what else? Like should we go back and rewatch Dark Side of the Ring?
I'll have to think of some stuff. We can do that.
We should do that.
We can do that.
We should do that. The first episode of Dark Side of the Ring. You know which episode I'm talking about. You've been wanting to do that episode.
Was that the first one?
That was the first one.
Oh, wow.
That was the first
one. I think
I
watched
that.
Since
then, I was just like, but they went to Puerto Rico, and I was just like, oh, we should do that now.
Yeah, we should have.
We should have done that. It was like, oh, you guys want to cheer for Puerto Rico? Look what they've done in the past. I'm kidding. No, don't do that. I have a few Puerto Rican fans that follow me. So we love Puerto Rico around here. We just don't love the CWC, the Wrestling Council, whatever it was at the time. Like, hey, you know.
We don't like the invaders.
Invaders, that's all we don't like about. But we have to go through all that, and since then I've seen new footage of people talking about it. So I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna screen record this. I'm gonna put this up, and I'm gonna put this on the show because y'all need to hear it. Y'all need to see how interesting this was back then and how interesting it is now. Even now, 2 years after Dark Side of the Ring aired it.
Yeah.
I'll
try to think of some stuff and give you some ideas, and we can see. For
real. I was gonna say, what's this weekend? The pay-per-views. There's 3 pay-per-views this weekend. 3 premium live events. It's the one in Jeddah, Night of Champions, NXT the next night, Battleground, I think. I don't know, I forgot. And AEW All Out or All In. All In.
Yeah, All In, I think. Yeah.
All In, which was supposed to bring back a certain person from Chicago with a dog named Larry.
Oh, wow.
But we don't say his name around here anymore because we get yelled at. But I did say that on another podcast, and they're like, oh, somebody with a dog named Larry? That's funny. I'm like, oh, I can't say his name. I was like, say it. Like, no, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm going to say his name. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. He wished me a happy birthday last year. Well, not me, really.
Yeah, you told me.
Not me, really. It's just like.
No, you did. Oh, yeah, you did that. Okay.
I did that. CM Punk, of course. Like.
Yeah, no, I know you did.
Like, I don't care who says what. Like, you stop listening because I like CM Punk. Go for it. It's fine. It's all right. But hopefully we get you back later on. Hopefully he shows up this weekend. If not, we'll have to see him at Collision at AEW's Collision.
So are they actually letting him back in?
Yeah. Oh
wow.
Here's what happened. Here's what's happening. Basically, there's a draft. One half of the roster that doesn't like CM Punk backstage is going to be working on Dynamite. The other half is going to be working at this show, Collision.
Oh, wow.
Supposedly, that's what they're saying. Like, the dirt sheets are saying this whole thing, basically. Okay. I don't believe it's like, all right, whatever. They've canceled AEW Elevation. They've canceled AEW Dark because Discovery didn't want any of it anymore. So, like, Tony Khan has all these people wrestling for him, and now he has to put on a third show. So Collision is where he's at. We're going to have Rampage, AEW Dynamite, and Collision.
Wow.
3 separate shows. And then he has the AEW pay-per-view, so premium live events. So it's going to be 15, 20 hours of wrestling from now on, which I don't even do anymore. So we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Huh.
So, yeah, dude.
No, I'm just, I didn't know that they were actually letting him back in.
Yeah, I guess so. Even after the whole thing, the scrum and everything.
Right.
Even after all that, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, good for you, dude. Like, I tried looking for those muffins, I couldn't find them. It's like I wanted them for my birthday. Instead, I got Let Them Eat Cake candle from Dark Freak Creations, our sponsors, by the way. Shout out to them. Yeah, hey, we love you guys. Check out more candles and all that jazz at darkfreakcreations.com. Link in the show notes.
Well, I remember when you opened the candle, one episode.
The unboxing of the candle, we still have that audio. Like, I tried doing an unboxing for this other candle, and just like, I'm doing it by myself. There's nobody watching me. This is horrible. Okay, no, I'm not doing it. But I did it anyways. I bought another type of candles from them. There was one that was a witch's brew. There was a Let Them Eat Cake candle, and then I'm getting a card diffuser later on, and then another one for the summer or the winter, which was the fall, which was pumpkin spice. Either that or the one that they sent me. Serial Killer? Yeah, that one.
You're listening to Mama Murdered a Podcast. I'm your host, AB. Mama Murdered a Podcast is a podcast where me, the mama, will be killing it on the podcast. We'll be taking a deep dive into things that are hard to talk about and even harder to believe that these things actually happen in the world that we live in. This entire podcast will be a trigger warning. I'll be talking about triggering topics while I dive headfirst into a lot of the cases that I'll be covering. New episodes will be released every week on Wednesdays because nobody likes Mondays and because Fridays are for day drinking and barbecues. Some of the case topics will be murder, of course, serial killers, like Dennis Rader, the BTK killer, missing persons cases, like 5-year-old Summer Wells, who vanished from her own yard in broad daylight in the middle of June in Tennessee in 2021. And especially the ones where it kind of seems like they just vanished into thin air, like Brian Schaefer. He walked into a bar, but he never walked out. He's still never been seen again. I'll also be covering cold cases and lesser-known cases. Join me every Wednesday to talk about all things tragic, murder, and things that happen in the downright ugliest sides of society. If you like what you hear and you want to support the podcast, you can rate me on Spotify. You can also leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at murdered_mama. All of these things are free and they only take about a second to do, and it really does help grow the podcast. If you have any case suggestions, please send them my way. You can send them to the email address mamamurderedapodcast@gmail.com.
That's going to do it for the show. Follow us on our socials and support us from Under the Apron on Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube. Apron_stories on the Twitter. More info on the links on where you can listen or watch on the show notes. Listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or any other audio media you can listen to podcasts on. Make sure to rate us and leave us a review. And if you feel like you want to do a little more, go to patreon.com/From Under the Apron Podcast. Support us on the Patreon. Become a top-tier patron. And I will shout you out at the end of every episode, just like this. Shout-outs go to Babel B, Menace Smiling, Stephanie M, Dark Fake Creations, you already heard them, Jolene, Miniature Dancer 51, Super Solid Kid Eclipse, John Decor, Unexpected Error Occurred, Seizure Queen, Purple Haze 94, Juan with the Polaroids, Brenda Lamore 1, Zach WWE, Rowena the Queen of Persia, OMG is Ren, K-Bear 0111, Jay Wowzer, OG Just Peachy, Menace Smiling, who we love around here, Kush Queen. Did I just say her name already?
No.
I did. She's our backer. Kush Queen, Hydrangea Water, The Grunge Witch, Hannah Time, Messenger of Stupidity, This Girl 474, Tommy the Gun, Secrets 101. My favorite DJ right now, currently, DJ Aaron. The Wee Daddy, Princess Lynn's 420, Rabbit Orlando, Stormy 1, Gamer Girl 1976, Collector of Lost and Sentimental, Dimensional Abyss, Songs of a Sunken Ship, California, Babbling Brook. What's a Julian? Michael?
Nice.
What's a Julian?
What's a Julian?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
Did you? Oh.
Every time I see that, I say it. What's a Julian? Nothing. What's the matter with you?
Oh, God.
Yeah. And that was your dad joke of the night. Mermaid, Queen of the Seas. Oh, good, man. Say the shit. That's our oos right there. Feeling a little oozy. Talofa. Doing the too sweet right now with you, girl. Savage Alaskan. XX Panda XX19. Hey, love GXX. Ashley TV. Philly Millie. Creator 814. Brief Flash. Task Flash. Art. Dat Monster. The Heart Organ. Valkyrie's Revenge. Cloudy November from the No Is a Sentence podcast. Mama Murder the podcast, who just turned into 11,000 downloads on her podcast. Y'all should check that out. Stinky Stupid, Turtle Boy Flores, Sensitive Angel, Black Hoodie 7. What's goody, Black Hoodie? Oh Mia, Zach from Kick, Happy Sheet Blog, Punker Than Your Mother, Hopeful Kid, Weasel Eclipse, Silly Belly, El Pepe Frito, Uniquely Mystical 420, Master Bill, Scott MG 418, Sweet Jeez, Christmas, my goodness, how many people are more left? Celestial Moon Goddess, haven't seen that name in a while. As soon as I saw her, I was excited. Really awesome, really down to earth, really, really sweet. Hope she's doing amazing. And last, but definitely not least, DJ Crazy 76. I'm sorry for putting you last, dude. I know you told me this, but I needed to see so we can talk about this. If you paid attention to the show notes recently, I posted links to the Walk to End Epilepsy fundraiser about a year ago. He had a stroke, and just recently he has told me his story about how he had to learn how to walk again. So he's going on walks around his neighborhood. What would take us perhaps 20 minutes now takes him double that time. So on June 17th of this year, he will be a part of the Walk a Mile for the Walk to End Epilepsy in Philadelphia. 291 people have registered. $29,000 have been raised. So if you're in the Philadelphia area and want to participate, I will have a link in the show notes. Let's get this man on here. Like, I know cool. He's from, 1976? He's a bit older. Let's get this man on here. Let's see if he wants to talk about wrestling or mental health. We're about both. We're about everything. Let's push that epilepsy fundraiser thing on and see what he has to say. I want to hear his story.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, let's do that. Thank you guys for supporting this podcast. Patreon.com / From Under the Apron Podcast. Get your name shouted out. Support the podcast. check out the show notes for a link to other podcast series that you heard on this episode. Send us a message of your favorite wrestling stories, questions, comments, ratings, or requests at our email. It is fromundtheapron@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, enjoying the live, staying, the gifts, and being a huge part of this community. Tell your friends. Join us next time for more stories, movies, and TV show reviews, as well as related stories when we come to you from Under the Apron. Michael, take us out.
All right. Glad to be back, and I'll see you guys in the next one.